can science tell us about getting a better night's sleep?
Some people think of sleep as a luxury. You can slash back on it. After all, that's what caffeine is for. Many other people, however, struggle to get enough sleep. So, what is going on inside your brain when you're sleeping? How do you know if you're getting enough? And what, if anything, can you do to improve the quality?
Apparently this is the easiest and most reliable way to find out. At least that's what the researchers tell me.
What's happening now is they're attaching EEG electrodes to my scalp so that they can measure what happens to me as I fall asleep and while I am asleep. I'm slightly worried as to whether I'll actually be able to sleep with these things in my head, but we shall see.
Can you tell? Good morning, by the way.
Hi there.
What happened? How did you get on?
It went all right, actually, because that's a portable electroencephalogram, and I went off and had it analysed, and I see myself as an insomniac, and I did indeed wake up at 3 in the morning. But what was really interesting, and I wasn't aware of, for example, is in the first phase of sleep, when you go into it, deep sleep, one of the things that happens is that your short-term memories get consolidated and turned into long-term memories. So if you don't get that first phase, then you don't clear the space for new memories, and that's why if you're a student and you decide to cram in lots of stuff, it's a really, really bad idea.
I see.
I mean, we're sort of semi-fascinated by sleep because of
Yes, I can
the
imagine.
time we get up in the morning, really, basically. But
Yeah.
it's very interesting. You did a big experiment as well with people getting 6.5 hours sleep and then 7.5 hours sleep,
That's
and
right.
very stark findings, actually.
It was remarkable because we got them, we sleep deprived them, we measured all sorts of things about them, and then we let them sleep
Well,
for an
you say
extra hour a
sleep
day.
deprived. Is 6.5 hours? You wouldn't presume that was sleep deprived.
I think for
actually.
some people it isn't, and for other people it is, and I think for most people it is. I think on average we probably do need around 7.5 to 8 hours sleep a night. Certainly with this lot, what we found is when we cut their sleep by 1 hour, lots and lots of genes, in fact 50 genes are associated with all sorts of bad things,
Important, yeah.
got switched on, things to do with inflammation and other factors. And what it also does is it kind of messes with your brain, partly to do with memory, but also the emotional content of your brain, your ability to actually make sense of the world. If you're sleep deprived, that's a bad thing.
Well, it's fascinating how you go about these subjects, because the sleep thing, not that we're obsessed by it or anything, but I have found that as I've got older,
Yeah.
I've needed less sleep.
Right.
Is that relevant in itself? Have you found that is how people
That
say
is generally true, although some people never adapt. That you can do with less sleep. The quality of your sleep changes and it becomes poorer, frankly, as you get older.
Does
it does. But there are certain things you can do. For example, another thing that surprised me is we have receptors in the eyes for blue. So if you look at screens late at night, or you decide to get up at 3 in the morning and look at your computer, that is a really, really bad idea. Because it's the blue light in the computer that basically switches on various things in your brain, and that keeps you awake.